Hey, everybody, it's Jim Hagemeyer with Leslie Wells Realty, and I'm sitting here with my good buddy Tom Collier.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, that's perfect, Tom. Thanks for being here this morning. I am excited today. We have a special guest, Matt McAllister, right here from North River. Matt McAllister Art. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Man, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. You know, I'm a fan. Follow you on the social media, and you do fabulous work. Let me ask you something. How long have you been doing this? How did you get started? What got you in to the art business?
Well, it all started when I was a kid. Just kind of, as that kid, just kept drawing and drawing and drawing. We all start out as an artist, I think, as a kid, and then some of us continue, and some of us stop doing it. And I was one of those kids. I was an only child, so I think that helped me kind of get my creative. Yeah, I had to entertain myself somehow, and so that eventually just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I started doing chalk art. Chalk art festivals about 8 or 9 years ago, and then that got me hooked to do the bigger paintings, the larger scale. And then I eventually just started asking around town if anybody had some walls that they want to paint, and just throw me some money to cover the cost of the paint, and it just led from there.
Wow.
You ever been to the chalk art festival, Tom?
No, I have not.
It's amazing stuff. I saw it in downtown Sarasota. Were you there at the Sarasota one a couple years ago?
Yeah, I was at the one down on Burns Court.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. It's 3D, okay? So
I was just going to say, do you do those 3D things?
Yeah, I do 2D and 3D. The 3D ones get a lot better reaction, of course, but the 2D ones, I think, are a way to really showcase you if you're a good artist or not, because you're drawing, to scale what you see or what your reference image is.
Well, you're talking Greek to me, so what is 2D versus 3D?
So 2D would just be, a portrait of a person on the ground, a landscape or something like that. And then the 3D is where you really have to skew it out, take your image and manipulate it in like Photoshop or a program like that, so that it really only works from one vantage point instead of all the way around the image. It's just one specific spot makes a 3D element pop up off the ground or go down into the ground. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
So, I mean, we got familiar with Matt because he did the mural right here on the building.
Is that right?
And, well, that's what's up on the screen anyway right now. So anyway, yeah, so he did the mural here on the building, and I mean, it's fabulous because I don't know how that inspiration came. Because it's a postcard thing of the area.
Yeah.
And so what inspires you? How did you come up with this? Oh, let me do this postcard.
Well, I talked with Leslie, and we decided what we thought would be the best elements on the wall to basically advertise what we do here at your office. And I just wanted to go with like a kind of an old Florida traditional style, because I think that's what's kind of leaving this area. It's getting so built up that I think it's important to kind of keep some of that old Florida charm. So that's kind of what I put into this mural.
Tom, we have Snooty on there, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So when you lay this out, like the difference between the chalk and the brush art, it was part of what you did out here. Now I've seen you do spray can.
Yeah. So I typically do, 50-50, just exterior house paint rolled on or brushed on, and then the other 50% I do with spray paint.
So I saw and I followed also the Buck O'Neill in Sarasota. How did that come about? I mean, did somebody call you and? Yeah.
So my good friend Luther was originally asked if he was interested in doing this mural, because he's one of the best portrait artists that I know of, and he said he was getting too old to do murals of that height, so he referred me to be the guy to replace him, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
This thing's massive, Tom.
Yeah, 4 stories tall.
Wow.
So it's Buck O'Neill. Buck O'Neill was a baseball player back in the 1920s and 30s. He was in the Negro League, and he was the first black coach in the MLB. Right. So basically, he grew up in Sarasota in his younger years, went to school here, and then he eventually had to move away because there wasn't schools for black people, in abundance down here. Okay. So he had to move. He went to Kansas City, got established there, but once he died, and then he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So that's why we wanted to put this mural up and get it finished before the induction ceremony, just to kind of be an extra tribute to him.
So you just kind of dive into the background behind your murals too.
Yeah.
To learn about
the history.
So a mural like that, I really had to do some research. I knew of Buck O'Neill. I knew his name. I kind of knew some basics about him, but it gave me a chance to really learn more details about him, and he's pretty inspirational.
That's interesting.
So I don't know, man. That's one of my favorite. How about you, Matt? What's one of your favorite murals or artwork that you've done? What do you so you finish it and you stand back and you go, holy cow, that's awesome. Look what I did.
Yeah, there's a few that I kind of can't believe that I painted. The Buck O'Neill one is one of those, just due to its size and height. The other one was the very first big mural I ever did, which was on the back wall of Krabby's Dockside on Clearwater Beach, and that's just basically a big welcome to Clearwater Beach postcard. It's a billboard. It's 48 or 45 foot wide by 18 tall. That was the first wall that I had of that size, and that was the first wall I ever painted up in a lift as well. But that thing came out great, and it's been used in TV and national newscasts. No, that one is down in Fort Myers Beach. That was on the side of a kind of a souvenir shop, and I did a few down there too.
I believe I've seen that turtle on shirts and.
Yep, I'm wearing it on the back of my shirt I have on right now. Yeah, you gotta basically take these murals and get a good photo, and then you can use that to keep that image going on other things like cups and shirts and pillows and things like that. So that's what I
like the turtle one.
Yeah,
yeah. The turtle was in my top 3 favorite. Right now it's just kind of beat up and on a pile of rubble at the moment. But it lives on through shirts, and it's on my work trailer. I have decals and stickers and all kinds of bottles that I put the images on because I want them to continue, just in case they do get ruined or painted over. At least they can live on.
Yeah. So you mentioned Fort Myers Beach specifically. So is that still there? That image, what you did?
The image is still there. The building that it is on is now just a kind of a cinder block shell at the moment. The roof and the windows and back wall are all blown out. So
sad.
It's very sad, yeah.
So how's that make you feel? I mean, do you expect to go back and redo those again, or do you?
Yeah,
obviously it's a bummer. You're going, that you lost that.
The gentleman that owns that building, he also owns another building that I did 2 other murals on, and he's already asked me if and when they do, rebuild that building, if I'll come back and do the whole entire building this time instead of just one wall. So he plans on building back. A lot of people can't do that, but I think with a block building like that, it's salvageable. But
that says a lot right there, but that's because that's a priority for him. You've already had that conversation with him. Okay?
Yep.
So congrats on that
already,
thanks. Also, you're everywhere. I mean, I saw something in Clearwater.
Yeah.
And on all the way down to, how far do you go? What's your area?
I've got a mural in Clearwater. I've got Daytona Beach, Fort Pierce. I had 6 in Fort Myers. Now there's only really 1 there. I've got Inglewood. I'm working on a big Inglewood mural right now. It's a 90-footer, 90 foot long by 15 high, and that's also going to be a postcard theme. That's going to say greetings from Inglewood, and then inside each letter of the word Inglewood will be a different scene or a landmark or something that pertains to that town, so that people can help relate. And I think it's going to be really good now because that town's a mess as well. And I think going back and painting that mural and having that finished up when cleanup's happening, I'm hoping it's going to be an inspiration for the town.
Yeah. So you're talking about these giant murals. I read somewhere that, like me, you may have a little issue with heights.
Yeah, I did. I'm getting better at it, though.
Yeah?
But yeah, the first couple that I was up in a lift, it's a little sketchy when you're on the top of a lift and it's windy out because... that basket at the top of the lift is going to move back and forth, a foot. But when you're up there, it feels like it's moving 6 foot. I mean, it's really sketchy. But I've gotten used to it now. I've done about 7 or 8 murals in a lift, and it's becoming a lot easier now. So it's helping me conquer my fear of heights.
Very nice, very nice.
So I also saw some photos of your VW Bug, and as a car enthusiast, that got my attention.
Yeah.
So. How do you do that? Do you do a lot of automobiles and?
Well, I don't do a whole lot of automobile work. Basically, I'm more of a cosmetic type of guy. So I've done wraps, vehicle wraps. Before I did murals, I was doing vehicle wraps and managing a shop over here in Bradenton. So I've wrapped hundreds of cars and boats and trains and airplanes and all kinds of stuff. But as far as cars go, Volkswagens is kind of my passion. It was always my dream car, and luckily they're usually pieces of junk, so you can pick them up pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So I got mine cheap and just started working on it over the years. And I thought I could wrap it, but I thought, why not showcase some of my art on my car? So I went ahead and just did a custom paint job on it.
Let me just paint it. So these murals are brushed. Did I have that right on these large murals?
Yeah.
Brushwork. So how about the spray can? I saw you doing some spray can art. How does that work? How do you plan that?
So the spray can is typically used for detail work. I'll go in if I have a big image and I just have to block out some shapes and stuff. I'll do that with a roller or a brush just to get base colors on it. And then the spray cans allow you to add a lot of different details because you can get different spray paths from super thin to extra wide, and then you got transparent colors, so you can really pack in a lot of detail with spray cans that you wouldn't be able to do with a brush.
See that, Tom? In case you want to get started.
But the cans I use are $10
you should
each.
See some of my spray cans. I have the remnants all over my garage.
Yeah. It can get messy.
And don't do it on the driveway.
No.
It goes everywhere, doesn't it? Yeah. So what do you got coming up? What are you doing? What's the plans? Where do you see this going?
Well, hopefully I see it going in a forward direction, and for the next, at least until I'm 55, I hope I can be climbing ladders and stuff. I'm 40 right now, so I think I've got at least.
You got a little time.
I think I got about at least 20 good years ahead of me.
Okay. I hope so.
So, the idea is just to spread art around the state of Florida and a little bit farther. But, I'd like to stick around to my hometown area to really kind of pack in murals because this area is kind of lacking it. If you go across the bay over to St. Pete, there's a mural on every other building. And I think we need that in this area. Maybe not quite as an abundance because we don't really have a downtown that would quite support that. But, we need some more murals because people enjoy it. Art's universal. It can cheer people up. It can be a landmark, if you will, for photo ops and things like that. So,
where do you envision the Matt McAllister Museum?
Oh, well, maybe. Well, I was going to say out on the coast, on the beach, or something like that. But after Ian, I don't know. Maybe we'll bring it inland somewhere. But
I'm thinking Ellington. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, Ellington.
That would put Ellington on the map for sure.
For sure. Let's do it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk to Leslie and.
You might get some pushback from the outlet mall over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know a bunch of real estate people, so maybe we can use you guys and find a location in the future. I got to get a few more years under my belt, though.
All right, man. Anything else you want to add to it, Matt? We really appreciate you coming in this morning. We're very fortunate to have you because I thought you'd be somewhere, doing your work.
Yeah, I'll be doing a Clearwater Beach Chalk Art Festival this next weekend coming up, the 14th and 15th. So it'll be a Friday, Saturday. And then I'll be heading back down to Inglewood once they get all power on and a little bit more cleaned up, and I'll be finishing that mural in Inglewood, Florida.
Is like a contest down there where people have to vote for you and stuff?
Yeah, usually it's a people's choice, so there's a bucket and people can put a ticket in their favorite art piece, and then it gets voted on.
Well, we know who the people's choice should be.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
Yeah.
But you can find my website is mattmcallisterart.com, and I've also got merchandise with my sea turtle and things, and that's mcallistermerch.com.
So if somebody wanted to hire you to put up a mural on their building?
Yeah, they can contact me through my website, and it'll go right to my email, and I can get back to you as soon as I can.
What was that website again?
mattmcallisterart.com.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll make sure that's up on the screen as well. Matt, again, man, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt McAllister from Matt McAllister Art.